Thank you. She ran calling wildfire because I've been talking this entire damn time with no freaking sound. So, what I was saying was that it's Friday. Hey, you guys know me. I like to cut it up on a Friday. We are definitely going to be talking about this case. My lips are a little looser. I'm waiting for Cynthia to come up here. We did say on Cynthia's live stream that we were going to come back to my stream and do that, but I got a call literally right before we were going to do that with the detective that I work with, and that phone call lasted quite a long time with the information that has been coming out to myself um, the last couple of days. So I'm open to questions. Again, Cynthia, where the heck are you? Like, please don't make me call you and hunt you down because I will. Hi, hi, True Crime Utah. Oh, hey, Glory, you changed your name. How are you? Good to see you in here. Lisa Jones in the house. Yes. Hi, Lisa. So good to see you, Bill. Um, we got some things to talk about, y'all. We got some things to talk about. We got to be careful with what we talk about because this is an active investigation with a lot of moving parts. And the most important thing is Dylan. Okay? There is my girl. Cynthia
Hey,
in the household. Let me put us side by side. Why you're so tiny. Hi.
hey.
So yeah, I tried to make my background this time look like desert sand. You can laugh at any time or just deadpan if you want, but I was trying. I literally was trying to make it look like something along those lines.
I like it. I just didn't
Well,
realize it was sand, not immediately, but
no,
it looks good.
this is not a laughing matter. It's really not, and I'm not laughing at it. But it's just
No, it looks good. I like it. It just,
no,
I
Robin,
didn't realize it's
like
sand.
holy brain overload, Batman. Okay,
I
you
don't
know what
even
I'm
have
saying.
that background on mine. Is that like a new one?
I think it is because I
Or
haven't
maybe
seen
you have
it,
more
and I
features
saw
than I
it.
do.
And I was like, this looks like desert sand. Perfect. We're gonna use that. She ran calling wildfire. Looks cool. Yeah, I think it fits. With what's going on in Dylan's case. Just so you guys know, I think you guys have seen us enough times at this point. Cynthia, extremely fact based, which is just, I do this with her with that. And then me, loving facts, also the yacker.
She's
So
very
that's,
good at talking to people. I unfortunately am
am
not
I?
the greatest with that quality, but
I don't know. If you read some of the comments with my Kurt interview, people thought I was just, why did you say this to him? Why did you ask him the hard questions? Well, ladies and gentlemen, because you get more with honey than you do with vinegar. Like, this is common sense. Like, if I have to tell you that, just check out the true crime genre. It's not for you. I'm not being rude. I'm just being honest. If you don't understand that, please go look at a lot of police interviews. They're not mean to the people they interview, okay? And I'm not calling Curtis suspect. I'm just saying if you want information from people, you do not degrade them. And if we're going to go there, and I'm going to go there, Candace Cooley is not on any list for me as a suspect. I want to make that extremely clear. And an agent today also made that very clear to me. But this is where I feel like Candace possibly went wrong is that I think she went in very strongly to Montello and those areas and was probably angry. Her child is missing. And so she probably approached it in a manner. I wish I could go back in time with her and guide her into let's not do that. Let's listen to what these people have to say. But I do not fault her for it because I'm a mama bear and I would probably have that raw the same. So it is what it is.
Well, I think for her from the very beginning, it was kind of like everybody's potentially a suspect. Like, where's my son?
Yeah.
And you all
Where's
were
my
around
kid?
him.
One of
So
you know.
exactly. So that's, I can't even imagine like the distrust being surrounded by these people that were the last people to be around my son in, whatever last few months or years. And somebody has to know, like you were just saying, someone has to know something. And it's not like he just fell off the earth. So
Yeah, no, and this is absolutely true with what Glory is saying. Um, I feel like I put that up, but okay, here she goes. So Glory, if you guys don't know, she does have a channel. She was in court with James Brenner. She saw him. She's an eyewitness to his height, to what happened. And Glory is just simply saying she probably could have been more diplomatic. I agree. Catch more flies with honey than vinegar. Yes. With that said, I want to follow that up with Dylan's parents are not on trial. Period. I heard that from the FBI agent today. Me. Okay? They're not on trial here at all. So for those of you that say things that, Candace is suspect number one, no, she's not. She's not even on the list. Not true. Uh, Graham's James. I think this is the granddaddy of every single question. I think Cynthia wakes up every morning thinking about this, as do I. Where is Dylan? And I think that the FBI is doing the exact same thing. With James Brenner, with them having him in federal custody over these guns, they ultimately are going to want to break him or the other potential people that help do this. And I'm saying potential because no one else has been named a suspect. That has to be clear. We state this in every live stream, and I'm going to do it again until that is changed. But in my opinion, there are two other people that are involved here. That's
minimum.
my opinion. It is
Mm-hmm.
not a fact. My opinion solely, but that is the question. And in my opinion, James Brenner or the other two people I strongly suspect, they have to break. They have to break. I do not believe I'm going to go on another rant here. Donna Serafina, shout out to you. I am not talking about you, boo, but I am talking about everyone else. As a person that reads tarot cards for fun, for something that I like, I am going to say this. If you are a psychic or you are a tarot card reader and you keep calling that FBI agent and carrying on with this nonsense, cut it out. They're tired. They are not happy with it. I heard that from their ears or from their mouth to mine today. It's enough. Okay? You can absolutely do reads on Dylan. You can absolutely, and this is what I love about Donna Serafina because she openly admits psychics are 80% right at best. At best. Never 100%. Okay. So if you're going to kill all their resources and do all of this nonsense, have something factual to back it up with. Nobody cares about your dreams. And I hate to be harsh, but I need to be because we're talking about a 19-year-old missing young man, and your dreams or whatever are not proof. So cut it out. You are hurting their resources and you are not helping this case. Cynthia?
It's just after your conversation earlier with the FBI agent, it was like they don't have the time, they don't have the resources to sort through
Nope.
all of these theories, and
They're
you know,
very frustrated with
yeah,
it.
exactly. It's
Yes.
just it's distracting them from finding actual facts. And I think that it puts, what if people are calling in? What if locals that might have some important information are calling in, and it's kind of putting like a backlog and just putting them to the back? And what if law enforcement gets so exhausted, like they kind of just
He
slow down?
Jesus explicitly said that to me.
Hmm.
They're wasting our resources. That's what he said. Um, when I mentioned YouTuber, he gave out a very loud sigh. Ugh, just like that. And I know exactly why he did that. And Cynthia, I think you do as well. Because you've been watching stuff. I have not, because again, I already talked to the people behind the scenes. I do not need to watch these channels that speculate and do all this nonsense. So I fully understand why he gave out that loud sigh, because when people text me or email me, hey, do you see this stream? Hey, do you see this? Hey, do you see that? And I'm like, no, and then I look for it and I'm like, what are they doing? Like, this is just so off the path of what it is. And I feel like the FBI agent definitely had that same sentiment. Obviously, he's not going to tell me information on the case. I'm not an FBI agent. There's no reason for him to do that. But his disdain with those sorts of things was very apparent. So, uh, Glory, Tamra, hi, Bill. Uh, at Jess, do you know where Jim Brenner was transferred to? I'm wondering. Well, Cynthia is going to be able to answer here, Gloria. I'm wondering if it's a federal lockup, but can't think where it would be. Yes, he's in federal custody, but I'll let Cynthia tell you more about that.
He's in Weber County. So I went on to the box elder on my channel. Jess and I just did a live, but I went onto the Box Elder County Sheriff's website, and then I utilized their Vine search, which is it's for victims of crimes where they can be notified or get up to date information about the person that hurt them. So I searched there and it still showed him in their system, but it said that there were not going to be any future updates because of his status. And it said add another facility. So I went to Weber County and searched it there, and he is there. So he was transferred there on July 5th.
He's in federal custody, you guys.
Yes,
That's where he is.
but being held by
Um,
Weber County. Yeah.
Tamra, like, I gotta say your name, girl. Listen, Tamra, Cynthia, I pronounced her name as Tamara for months. She never corrected me. And then one day I get an email for her and and she's like, Jess, like, my name is pronounced Tamara. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I felt so terrible. So I always make like an effort to absolutely say her name correctly. She reached out to me like in the sweetest way, but just like, hey, that's not how you say my name. So, and she's actually a member of my channel, and she's actually a rent on my channel. So, I felt like really bad about it.
She's
Um,
like, hey, we're on this level now. You got to start calling me by my right name.
yeah, you need to get it right, girl. Like, get it right, get it tight, okay? So Glory, hey, Tamara. Uh, so Glory's saying, "Oh, I forgot he was Weber and not Box Elder." I was
Yeah.
waiting for you to talk, Cynthia.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
He was transferred from Box Elder to Weber on July 5th.
yeah. So I will tell you guys, I want so badly to tell you so many things, and I can't. Cynthia, it feels like I have put this virtual patch over my mouth and I cannot bring myself to rip it off
Well, we
because
talk about it on the phone like daily for
yeah,
hours, like
yeah,
hours, sometimes like 8 hours a day. And that's no joke. And the reason why
it's
is
a
because
lot.
we know so much, but it's not a video. Not everything is a video to make. It's not like, a topic for discussion, especially because it's an active investigation. And his family's been drugged through the mud. So it's just like there are certain things that we,
It's not even so much about his family. We have talked about that. I mean it is,
yeah.
but it's not. But
Mhm.
it's more about the connections that were between people very, very closely involved in this that just do my head in. They do my
Well,
head in.
without saying too much, because I know that we're not really going to go into great detail about
Yeah,
it. The
please watch
Yeah,
what you say.
the connections that we thought or we were looking for, we couldn't find them for the longest time, and we're trying to figure out what's this missing piece. And
We
we
found
found the
them.
missing piece, and it makes so much sense now because
Several of them.
we were looking in the wrong area, and
Well,
yeah,
I
that's
really
all I
think
can say.
that's in
But
part to everyone being led on this wild goose chase with,
yeah.
the gay thing and the all this kind of thing. I feel like people were led on this really wild ride when really most likely a huge red herring and where they should have been looking, we were looking at this direction.
Mhm.
And for those of you that are in here that have followed the Summer Wells case, I think you will fully understand that we were looking so much in this one direction or these couple directions that there were these other directions that are now coming out that are like mind blowing. So just to I haven't been talking about Summer a lot because I've been very immersed in Dylan's case. But please do not think for 2 seconds that when I spend my time on YouTube, I don't watch other channels about Dylan. I watch other channels about Summer. So I just want to say that. Uh Williams Bowers. Is that how I say your name? William Bowers. Emily, it won't stop, and people are convinced of their positions.
But where's the
You
evidence? Like you've been saying on like where's the evidence? I mean, some of these like rabbit holes, there's not really a lot of evidence. And it'll be like sometimes they'll have someone on and they'll be like, oh yeah, it's this person's cousin's neighbor's sister's friend. And
friend who told
they
me
know.
this. And let me just tell you again, I've brought Dylan Berg up in streams before, and I've had lots of great. Hey, Jess, good to see you. But I've brought Dylan Berg up before, and I'm gonna bring him up again, and I do not think he will mind. Um, but I'm gonna see this again. Dylan, if you're watching, hi. But Dylan Berg, after going on that live stream with Jim Terry, Immediately. Like literally when it ended, I suddenly get a message on my phone and he's pissed. That is not what I said. And this is, I tried to tell him that I did not see him in drag, and I don't think he's gay, and he's going on and on and on. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm watching this S show happen on YouTube. Quite frankly, it turns my stomach. Quite frankly, I don't know how people get the gall to go after parents that didn't even visit their kids far before he went missing, that somehow they're the number one suspects. FBI today, FBI agent, shout out to you. I did give you my channel name, so if you watch, hi. But you did emphatically say they are not suspects in his disappearance at all. Period. End of story. And that came directly from the FBI agent that is working this case, that has been out in Lucin, that has been doing all of this stuff. Obviously, I can't say everything we talked about, but I will say that. So the people that continue on with Candace, I don't really like her. I don't really like how bold she is. You know what? Shut up. Shut up. If that was my kid, let me tell you, you guys would hate me because I would have a bullhorn. I would definitely go bullhorn Betty style, absolutely, and be screaming in the neighborhood, where the F is my freaking kid? Maybe. Or I would probably use my talking skills and maybe get a lot of information out of people. But either way, I would do something. I would not be quiet. So it just, all of this speculation that Candace is a suspect, cut it out. Just stop it. I see these psychics, tarot readers. Oh, Candace is the number one suspect. Really? Do you have evidence to that? Do you have anything to say other than your cards or your brain just told you that? Because I'm going to tell you guys too, the FBI agent is not happy with you guys. Stop calling his line with your BS. Okay? Call him with factual things and nothing else. They're not trying to hear you. I am not saying that psychics are not instrumental in things at times, because they can be. But you always have to consider the source. And when you have a psychic, a tarot reader telling you, "Oh my goodness, I said this, and the FBI is like watching if I leave Canada now." No, they're not. No, they're not, Tara. Nobody cares if you leave Canada. No, they don't. No, they're not. Okay, just stop it. Stop it. Sorry, I really do have to go on that rant, Cynthia, because it disturbs me and bothers me a great deal. These are not facts. And what's the saying? I hate to quote Ben Shapiro, but I'm going to do it anyway. Facts do not care about your feelings, okay? They don't.
Yeah, I was just reading the comments. Did you see that one that I just sent to you? And
Yeah, I did.
it's interesting.
Lynette, what is that? Lynette also, just once again, she was in court with James Brunner. She's a paralegal. From looking at those pics, it looks like he left while preparing breakfast to move the grain truck. Lynette, is there any way that you can send those pictures to me? I don't know exactly what pictures you are talking about.
She said Jim Terry released some pictures of the inside of Dylan's truck or trailer. I wonder where those pictures came from.
I'm sure the FBI does as well. But either way, Thank you, Tamara, for always being the one that reminds me. You always do. Glory. Doug showed the pictures tonight on his live. Of course he did. So what are these pictures? I guess I'll go on my phone. Look up a shit channel that I don't even want to
It's the
look
first
up.
I've heard of it. Yeah, I stopped watching those channels probably over a week ago, and then I made the mistake of watching a channel yesterday, and that really
That
bothered me.
dude
The
is so about
misinformation.
money. Yeah, Doug, I'm talking about you. Thank you for your super chat like a month ago or something. But that's what you're about. So where are these pictures? Is it the live stream he's doing right now? Do I really have to like waste my time looking through this
So she said,
nonsense?
Lynette said they were from a friend of the family who came down to help look for Dylan with the family. See, that's the kind of
JD?
stuff that bothers me. Why are people giving this stuff out? Especially to specific
I would
people that you would
specifically
think.
like to know exactly what friend that was. I want to know what friend that was. Thank you so much. Caseworker super chat $2. Love your channel, Jess. I appreciate that very much. But Glory, if you could please tell me what friends this was of Dylan's, I would like to know. I cannot go through Doug's entire live stream. I might lose eyesight. I probably will lose 2,000 brain cells. I've lost enough in this case. So if you could just tell me what this was, I'll appreciate it. JD, Jason Douglas, JD's father. I can't remember his name. JD, really. So JD, Glory, do you want to come up on chat? Because I don't want to speak about things I did not watch this. And you clearly did. So I would prefer to hear from you about what exactly this was. I'm gonna put the link in the chat for you only, Glory. If anyone else clicks that, I'm not bringing you up. But Glory, please feel free. Because if it was JD, I definitely am interested and want to hear about that.
And if it was, let me just say real quick, that makes me so sad. I really feel like this family has been sold out. Not just the family, but Dylan. And it's just
No,
like,
Dylan. I'm not even. I'm not even. I don't
yeah,
want to say I don't care about the family. It's not that, but it's just Dylan himself. Okay.
yeah, because this information is being provided to people that are talking terribly about him.
Exactly. So, Glory, that's the link. You know how this works. You've done it before. If you want to click it and please come up, I will intently listen to what you have to say. Caseworker is saying it was another friend.
And then
It
William
was
Bowers
not
said another
JD's
school
father.
friend, a school friend.
We have a second person saying wasn't JD Wild's father. Okay, Gloria is up here. Gloria, I'm bringing you up here right now. Hi, love. How are you? Love the kitten picture.
Okay. I was curious to see these photos of the interior of the trailer, and it wasn't quite as bad as I was envisioning. Um, it looks like there was milk and bacon and a pan and cereal and other eggs all on the counter left out. So it looked to me like he was in the process of making breakfast and probably started to look like it was going to rain. So he left to go move the grain truck and didn't come back.
Can I say something real quick? This
Sure.
really bothers me. It freaks me out. And you know why, Jess? Because you
Yeah.
and I know there was no way for him to cook in that trailer. Absolutely no way. Was it staged? I know that sounds crazy to you guys, but Jess and I know a lot about that trailer. and he had no way
There
to
was
put
no propane at that
Okay.
trailer.
no.
Interesting. Well, that does lend to the staging idea, which somebody was wondering about. Um, Somebody else was wondering if the everything was put out on the counter so that they could look through and see if there was money hidden, like in the bottom of the cereal box, because the bag was pulled out from the box, and
Yeah,
that's not something you normally do.
unfortunately, with that story, number one, I could be wrong, but I do not think that JD would sell him out that way. Number two, there was no propane in Dylan's trailer.
Okay, interesting.
So, whoever is giving out these pictures or this information, I'm going to question them heavily, knowing that I know there was no propane in this trailer. So,
As soon as she started saying that about the breakfast, it
yeah,
freaked me out. I was like,
another lie.
yeah.
Not by Glory, she listened to that, but just it's constant with these YouTubers just letting anyone up on their panel saying whatever salacious thing they could say, whatever crap they could say, and they back it up with nothing. Am I wrong or
Well, no, not really. I I had taken it as legit, but knowing now about the lack of propane, that's really brings it into question.
I
yeah.
mean, they might be legit pictures. We don't know that, but that's not what we're saying. Like they might be real pictures of Dylan's trailer, but I'm wondering why that stuff was there if there was no propane. That seems odd. Did someone put
Lori,
that
if
stuff
you
there
could
after he
just
disappeared?
just from the top, could you go ahead and just give a very brief rundown from what I'm understanding? Something on Doug's Black channel is something about JD's father sharing pictures about Dylan, a breakfast being cooked. Is that correct?
Well, it showed the state of the trailer when they went into it, and the detective played a recording of him talking to the person who's represented himself as JD's father. Um, at least that's what I understood. I was a little bit late coming in, and I was curious to see the photos, so I gave it a look, and there was some disarray, that stuff on the dinette table, a couple of bins by the door. Uh, you
Did
know,
anyone mention any dirt or sand?
there was a little bit around the periphery of the little kitchenette on the end which had been swept up, but um, it
I feel
that
like
didn't.
Kermit the Frog right now, where I just want to like sip my tea. That's how
Um,
I feel. That's how I feel, and that it's nothing against you. It's
no.
just for the
One
love of
thing I'll
God.
say about dust, there is some people were saying, oh, it looks like it hasn't been touched for 4 or 5 months because of dust, and going, no, you get major dust storms out there because the Great Salt Lake is shrinking. And just coming back from West Valley City home last summer, there was a time when I had to slow down on the freeway to about 30 miles an hour because visibility was so poor because of a dust storm. So, um, you know, they
Lori,
get bad
Lynette,
dust
if I
storms.
if I may just call you by your real name,
That's
I can
fine.
never pronounce Glory. Like I always screw it up, but with Lynette, I do not ever screw up. So, but this person is saying He was not JD's father, Lynette.
Okay. Well, that's what I understood, but then I came in late, so I could have got the wrong end of the stick.
Okay.
But
Completely fair.
yeah.
And this is why it's good to do things like this, because you didn't come on here and I just attacked you or said you're wrong. People in the chat are saying, "Hey, that's not what it was." And you're just like, "Okay, well, I came in late. Maybe that's not what it was." And this is how you sort of dispel these wild rumors that get so out of hand on YouTube. This is how you dispel them, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, why, Cynthia? If you leave me, like, fine, like, just
I'll
fine,
be right
Cynthia.
back. I promise.
I'm gonna be abandoned here, Glory. You have to stay now. So, Cluckers, hi, Cluckers. Another child, and they didn't name the child, but they confirmed it wasn't JD. Glory.
It could be I was having some major lag issues, and so the feed would drop for me for 3 minutes at a time, and so I was having some issues. Um, but no, it was interesting to see the trailer, but it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. A few hours cleaning, it would have been just fine. It wasn't completely trashed like Jim Terry was saying.
Yeah, I've actually heard from, and I know that I have my sources and things.
Mm-hmm.
But I've actually heard, I don't know if it was yesterday, day before, something like that. But one of my sources actually entered Dylan's trailer after he went missing. And what they said to me was that there was sand everywhere. There was dirt everywhere. Okay, so at first, I didn't want to have a knee jerk reaction. I do not live in that area, that terrain, anything like that. I listened to them. When I talked to the FBI agent today, he said, "Listen, you cannot go out in that area and not get dirty." He said, "I don't care how much you clean, how much you do whatever." He said, "I've been out there for a month and I pull my phone out and there's dirt all over it and I got to take a shower and blah, blah, blah."
Well,
So
quite
go ahead.
frankly, when we went camping out on our land when I was a kid, we would use the dust as replacement for washing hands.
Yeah. Yeah. Graham James is saying, "I think the feds know more than us." Absolutely, they do.
Definitely.
100% they do. Okay. So, all of this salacious, again, I keep using that word, but it's extremely relevant here. All of this salacious stuff. No. You must
These
follow the facts and where they go, wherever they go.
the search warrants seem to be sealed. We were hoping to get a look at what was said in the search warrant for Chase Venstra, that they mentioned him in connection with a homicide, and we know that Dylan is officially a missing person and not a homicide, but they should have released that after 15 days and they have not. And so I was chatting with Marcus Ortiz of KTVX today, and he's pretty sure that they've sealed the search warrants, so we won't be getting any clarification on that.
I'm gonna mute for a second and I'm gonna attempt to little farmers in the country, whatever pictures those are. If you would like to speak on them, I'm not gonna watch this live stream. I'm not going through all that. It just seems too much. And again, I talked to the people that are actually involved in this case. So if you want to elaborate on that, whatever pictures were shown, please do. But I'm gonna mute my mic just for a second, Glory. I'm gonna try to make a phone call,
Okay.
and if you wanna look at chat and answer questions, feel free. But if this phone call goes through, then it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So, Cynthia, you as well. I'm about to make a phone call to someone.
Okay.
Might go through, might not. We'll see how it goes, but I am going to mute my mic for it. There are questions in the chat if you guys want to answer or speak on or whatever.
All right. I'm going to go back and start looking at some of these comments. I missed a lot.
Well, I see William Bauer saying it looked like the kitchen cabinets were cleared out and the items were scattered on the counters, and I agree with that. That, you know, to me, that's one reason I thought that it didn't look as messy as has been as portrayed, because yeah, everything was pulled out. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's really
it
weird. He wasn't, as far as Jess and I have learned, he was not really staying out there.
Okay, so I attempted a phone call. It went straight to voicemail twice. That phone's dead. So we'll leave that there. But anyway,
I was just saying that as far as you and I have learned, he wasn't really staying out there.
no, not at all, actually. As far as we have learned about Dylan, he was staying in Lucin very infrequently, very rarely. He was using that camper more as a bed, if anything else. There was not propane out there. There was not any of that. He was spending most of his time in Idaho and Montello.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I think that it was mainly a place to come in and take a nap, change clothes, you know, grab a few things, then back out to work.
Yeah, he was working off of ranches to fund his farm. So he would work all day long and then stay in Montello because it's like a, 60-mile or more drive round trip. So
It's
it's
also the only place with a bar, with food, with a gas station. There
a way
is
to cook and
nothing
bathe.
in
Yep.
Lucin. You guys have
Mm-mm.
heard this a million times, but it's true. There is nothing there. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I have to get loud sometimes. Sorry. um, let's read a couple comments here, and we'll see if we can answer them. If not, we can. If we can, cool. So I don't know this person. Mama of 487 Rose. Hi, how are you? She's saying it could have been the parents searching for keys, wallet, anything to find something of Dylan's. I don't know exactly what she was referencing, but if you guys were talking prior to me, you might know.
Well, I think
Uh,
regarding the state of if things being pulled out, that perhaps they were looking for a duplicate key.
okay.
It's possible. It's a possibility. She ran calling wildfire said, did the camper even have electricity? It didn't, right?
Well, we know that it did not have propane.
Mm-mm.
It did, like, from what we're told, Dylan literally used it as a bed to sleep in. He did not like living there. Cynthia, I'm gonna save that for when I come back, because when I come back, I'm gonna say something serious. I did say it on your live stream, but I'm gonna say it again. I really want you guys to go over and answer these questions if you can, because I'm gonna have to think for a second about what exactly I want to say. but everything, I'll lead with this. At this moment, I feel like everything from the very beginning of what we heard about Dylan Rounds and his farm and all of that was a lie. Cynthia might not agree with me. We don't always agree on everything. I need you guys to know that. This is not an echo chamber. I might feel one way, Cynthia might feel another, and you guys might feel another, and that is okay. You do not need to agree with me to be in this chat or be on this panel. That is not what this is about. But yes, I feel this is my personal feeling. Cynthia, agree, not agree. Lynette, same thing. You can agree or agree. But from everything that I know at this moment, I do not feel, well, I feel like everything about Dylan and the story that we were sold from the beginning is a lie.
Yeah, that's true. That's 100% true. We've learned a lot, and we feel like we were, and I think I said this in the beginning of the stream, or it might have been on my stream, but there were connections that we were looking for with people that are already in jail that were not there. We just could not find those connections. There were like loose connections, but like these people weren't close. And then now we are aware of other connections that totally make the pieces fit together. So it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, Jess and I talk for hours every day, and sometimes we talk with other people all at the same time, and we kind of throw these ideas around. And like she was saying, sometimes we don't always agree on our theories, but then sometimes we're able to build off of each other's theories and come up with something that makes sense, especially with the things that we know. But we don't always make videos on that stuff just because there has to be evidence to back it up. So we had talked about James Brenner, like I think it was prior to his arrest, or it may have been, or no, prior to him being deemed a suspect. And we were already on that path of thinking, this guy's definitely suspicious. But things are starting to make a lot more sense now. Lynette, what have you learned?
I know that Chase has a hearing in federal court on Monday at 10:30, so I plan to head to that to see if we get any little nuggets of information like we did with Jim Brenner's, because the subject of the grand jury came up at that point. So I think that it'll be interesting to see him in person and to see what little nuggets may come.
Do you know of, because I know that you're watching Chase's Chase and James cases, oh my gosh, I can't talk, very closely. So I'm sure that you're looking at documents that are being filed behind the scenes. Do you know, because I've been looking and I have not been able to find anything new really with Chase, and nothing new with Robert, nothing that would connect them to Dylan, at least.
No, not at this stage, and I don't expect it, especially since the search warrants seem to be sealed.
Yeah.
And it's we have no projected court date yet for let's see, I take that back. We have a court date of I think it was August 12th for Jim Brenner's trial for the federal weapons charge case, but that's not going to happen. I mean, you look at they just had a continuance on his assault charge from 2021. You know, we're in July, and it's been postponed with no trial date projected at this point. So there's no way that they're going to have his federal weapons trial in August if it's taking this long just for an assault case.
Well, the
So-
assault case, I did find there were like 7 warrants for his arrest filed. I think it's 7, like don't quote me on that, 5 to 7, possibly more. But there were like 5 to 7, just going off of memory, warrants that were filed, and they tried to execute those warrants. And that was way back in like April of 2021. So he's kind of been on the lam, I guess you could say, from like law enforcement hiding
Yeah,
because
agree.
they weren't able to catch him until this whole like firearms thing and thing with Dylan came up. And honestly, I think it was Dylan's case that finally brought him to justice for the other things. And
Yeah.
he hasn't been, no charges have been filed with Dylan's case against him. But, you know, eventually I'm sure.
I'll interject here with Glory, and please give me your, what you think about this as a paralegal. That it very much seems, since we found out that there was a typo, it was not May 12th that a search warrant was executed on Chase's property. It was instead June 12th. It did say in conjunction with a murder. I know that you were questioning that, but it does seem very much like it was Dylan's. If they have named James specifically as that now, but they have not done that to James or Chase, I'm sorry. Could I just have your thoughts on that?
Well, I would say they probably don't have as strong of evidence, and that he may not have been the primary actor in that. It's a little hard to know which. And I've wondered if they messed up the date on the thing. Maybe they messed up and told the truth and what they really consider the case to be, instead of a missing person, that they told the truth and said it's a homicide. But they're not supposed to do that officially, you know. So I think it could be that they slipped up on that point.
We have a person here asking, why did they move Brenner? And again, I'm going to leave this to Lynette, the paralegal, and also Cynthia, the research expert, of why that happened. I know why that happened, but I feel like you guys are better at explaining it, if you will.
Oh, I'm not really sure myself. I know that it's certainly closer, but
He bailed
Cynthia,
out
if you
of.
could answer, I feel like you know. So.
So he did post. He had a bond posted. He did end up getting out on bail, getting out of like custody, I guess you could say, from Box Elder County, and then he was transferred to federal custody on July 5th, and that's why he's at Weber County right now.
Yes.
There were documents.
That is exactly why. There were state and there were federal charges. Okay. So the federal charges, James Brenner was given a $5,000 bond, which is nothing. We all know that's nothing. If you have to put up 10%, that's like $500. But with the federal charges, the state's like, yeah, go ahead and put up that bond. But even if you do, you're being transferred there to federal custody, and there is no bond. You're not getting out. So I would not be surprised if there was no bond given for him. He probably didn't even ask whatever family friends he has to do that, because he already knew he was being transferred to federal custody and there is no bond. But that is why he was moved.
oh yeah,
So.
the judge made it very clear that he's not getting out. So
Yes. They specifically cited that he was a danger to society.
and to an unnamed person who the name's been redacted in the evidence which the defense is receiving. So there's somebody specific that they think that he would come after.
That's Dawn. Yeah, that's Dawn. We covered that. For some reason they unredacted some of the documents and it has his full name. And it says that he would be a danger to the locals and also specifically to their person of interest. I don't know why they call him a person of interest. I guess, I think it was the FBI or was it Box Elder County? I don't remember. We read the documents earlier, but they went out there to talk with this person of interest, and the person of interest presented the guns that Jim had brought to them, asking him to hold them for him. And then there's another document filed after that states who the person of interest is, and that's Don H. His name's Don Hatley.
Yes, that is his name.
Somebody sent me that name and told me to look into that. They thought that Don Hatley was a secret alter ego for Jim Brenner, and I looked into that. No, I don't think so.
No, that's the Don, the farmhand Don, as well. The one that was close family friends.
Hatley. That is his name. This person is saying definitely Don. Poor Don. I don't mean to chuckle at that, but I don't know what other expression to give you. He is the hero here. Interest or investigating lead?
He's not a suspect right now. He's not a named suspect.
Do you want to know my opinion, or do you want to know the legality of it? Is he a suspect officially named? No. Do you want my opinion? He is no hero. That's my opinion. Okay.
We have to remember that Dawn, the grandmother, Dylan's grandmother, called Dawn the day that Dylan, or I think it was the day after Dylan went missing, or that she didn't hear back from him. So that would be on the 29th. She called Dawn and was like, I have not heard back from Dylan. I'm concerned for him. Can you go check on him? He went out there with Jim, which I almost slipped. We can't say anything about that right now. But he took Jim with him to go check on Dylan. Or this is what he said. This is what he reported back to the family almost a day and a half later. But he didn't report back to the family until like almost a day and a half later that Dylan was still missing, that they went out there and they didn't find him. Why? That seems, my opinion, it seems very suspicious to me. Why wouldn't you tell this kid's family? I know he's a man, but I still feel like he was young, a kid. Why wouldn't they tell his family that we couldn't find him and you need to come out here and look? Instead, they waited.
Yeah, you and I know that there are several people that absolutely would have known that Dylan was not heard from, seen from, and they said nothing.
Nope.
James Brenner, one of them. Don Hatley, one of them. I will not name the third person as of yet. But 3 that said nothing, that definitely would have known. Okay. Let's see. Modest Man, good to see you again. I enjoy your comments. I thought I put you up. I guess I didn't. Where are you at? Did I put you up? There you go. Okay. So I think Don and Hakes, am I reading that right? Are fishy. I think you mean Hatley. I know what info you guys have about them. Do you? I will absolutely put a link in the chat solely for you, Modest Man. You can come up anonymously. I don't even need to know your name. But whatever you have to say, I do not think that you know the information that we know. But if you do, I would love to hear from you. This is not a pissing contest. This is a gathering of information. So I'm gonna do that. And if you would like to come up again anonymously, please do. I will gladly have you. If you start spouting off insane stuff, I will kick you straight out. But if you come up here and you talk logically, I have no issue with that. Just like Lynette has her little cat picture, even if you don't have a picture, it'll just say, the abbreviation of the first name that you have, which is M, so it'll be a M. We won't be able to see your picture. We won't have anything of that. But if you would like to come up here, I would like to hear from you. Because what you're saying, I know what info you guys have about them. Again, I don't think you do. Not even close. But I would like to hear what you know. I would like to hear if you do. That would be interesting. And if you do, I might bring you into this fold. But I need to hear from you first. So the link is in the chat. You do what you want with it. If you decide not to come up, perfectly fine. I'm not going to hold it against you. Lynette's laughing at you, Cynthia.
I
Okay.
know. I'm
Yeah.
so
So,
embarrassed.
so anyone that's up on panel can see that private chat, just so you know.
Now I know.
Now you know. That's why she's giggling. So I have this bright light glaring in my face because my light above me is so dim. So I had to put up some kind of YouTube light to like shine light on my face. But either way, Allie is saying, do it. Do it, do it. Just do it, do it. If
Are
you
we
know
waiting on
what
Modest
you're talking
Man?
about, then just do it, do it. So go ahead. This is not a mean-spirited challenge, just so you're aware. But with such a statement like that of I know what you guys are talking about, yeah, I'd like to hear from you anonymously if that's how you choose to do that. I'm not seeing him take that. It might take him a minute, but that is not happening. So yeah. All right. Yes, girl. Friday night. Hello.
I need to get a
Okay.
little cup for these lives. I feel so weird
Yeah,
drinking out of water
you
bottles.
need
I'm
to
like
get a
trying to
big
sneak a
cup.
sip. I'm like, my throat is dry.
Lynette, tell her. You know what, Cynthia, for Christmas, I'm sending you a giant wine glass. And when these cases get too heavy and we're like, holy shit, what the fuck? I'm just going to be like, listen, pour that glass up, girl, and just go ahead and do what you do.
It might be like a hard cider or beer, but
I will
I'll fill it
send you
up.
some wine. I'm in a wine club, actually. So, Cluckers, hi, Cluckers.
A mega
I,
pint.
I always enjoy
Love that.
Cluckers. Tuckers is saying, Josh, do you recommend Kurt not talking with Salty anymore? Honestly, that interview was quite doozy. I'm going to be very frank with you. I didn't listen to it. Cynthia did. I did not. When I tell you guys that I do not intake these other YouTubers that are covering the stream, I mean that.
I watched parts of
So,
it. I didn't watch the whole thing. It was very long. There were a
okay.
lot of breaks in between listening to the
Yeah,
recording.
what I heard was that Kurt was putting Dylan down, Cynthia, or I don't know. I really didn't watch it, so
He was saying things about how like messy Dylan was,
yeah, he
and
told me that before.
yeah.
That he was super messy with pizza and wouldn't let him stay in his camper sometimes. He's always messing up everything. So that's not really news to me, but Kathleen Hutchinson is saying Kurt is key. Kathleen, I would love to know why you think that. And that is a genuine question. I will not attack you for anything that you're saying. I'm just curious why you feel that way. Karmic is saying the FBI and law enforcement agencies need to hold a press conference. Listen, Karmic, if you've watched other live unfolding cases, they give very few of those. Okay. When they do, listen very carefully, but it's far and few in between that the FBI is going to give updates because, again, they are working an active investigation, and everything that they can hold close to the chest, they will. So they'll give you the basics and they'll leave it at that. Let's see this person's comment. Whenever it decides to load up or not.
I hope we don't have any more internet problems tonight.
Yeah, I think we will. I think I'm hitting buttons and they're just not working. So Kurt is lippy. He talks. He can't stop. He talks so no one asks the right questions. Listen, I'm actually gonna do this. I'm gonna do this, and I am gonna tell you guys before I do this that if you start getting crazy out of hand, conspiracy theories, yada yada, I'm not into that. I am going to make this an open panel. If you would like to come up and speak about what you think, what you feel, I will bring you up. But please do expect that if you throw a theory out there or something like that, I'm not going to drill you. I am going to ask why you feel that way. So the link is there. Again, you can come up completely anonymous. I really don't care who you are, to be honest. Unless you're, directly involved in this case, it's irrelevant. But people's opinions and matters, they do matter. Is Glory not up here anymore?
Up
No,
here.
yes, she is. Okay, yeah. I was looking like, where is Glory at? So yeah, if you guys want to come up, please come up. We seem to have a lot of opinions, and there is nothing wrong with theorizing. I will say it 1,000 times, and I will say it again. You do not state things as fact that are not fact, but a person that does not theorize does not think. Okay? So come on up. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Oh, I'm still getting comments on Dylan Round's interview with Kurt. That was 12 days ago, people. Like, let's catch up. Pink! Hi. So good to see you. So good to see you. Anyone? No one? So everyone wants to be keyboard warriors. Listen, I get it. Okay, I get it. You don't want to put your mug on the screen. Like me, you might be accused of having linebacker shoulders. I don't know. Either way, it's not that big of a deal. So, Cluckers, yay, Cluckers. We're gonna have Cluckers up, and Cluckers is someone that is in my chat quite often and has been following this piece quite a bit. So I'm excited to have Cluckers up and hear what they have to say. So Cluckers, here you go. Hi. Cluckers. Can you hear me? Sounds like chickens way far in the background, Cluckers. I don't know. But can you hear me? If you have YouTube turned on anywhere else, you will need to turn it off. Ray Bird would be my ultimate guess. Ray, if you decide to come up on this panel, I will love you forever. But either way, Cluckers, waiting on you. Yeah, Heather is demanding your attention, Cluckers, here. Okay. Heather with 72 question marks. Hello, Cluckers. What is going on? Nothing? Maybe clucking ain't easy. Listen, I feel I love that statement. Clucking is not easy, okay? So maybe Cluckers is having audio issues. She or he, she, I'm not sure if it's a male or female. They did drop down. So okay. Thanks, Clocks. Clucking really ain't easy. But Kurt speculates a lot, like everyone else does. In my opinion, thank you for using that. He really cared about Dylan and is racking his brain going through stages of grief. That's your opinion, and it's welcome. So Cluckers is back. Clucking ain't easy, people. Okay, Cluckers, if you don't say anything this time, I'm gonna make Lynette do the chicken dance, and she's not gonna be happy. So here we go. Hi. Cluckers, for the love of God. Lynette
Maybe
has
they're
to
on
do
mute.
the chicken
Are you
dance.
on mute?
Lynette, you know how to file paperwork. She is a paralegal, Cluckers. I don't think you want to mess around here. This woman now has to do the chicken dance because of you. And what the hell? And why am I getting a phone call? Okay, I'm going to have to mute. The significant other is calling. Lynette, if you could please strip down and start doing the chicken dance, we would appreciate it. If not, answer some questions in the chat.
Let's see what we've got.
There are a lot of questions for sure.
Oh, let's see. I'm looking at the wrong spot for the questions.
So Karmic Vibe says, I think it's mostly solved and they're just trying for an airtight case. This is just my opinion.
I think they're waiting on a body, hoping that they can get the body to file the charges. But if that doesn't come soon, I think that we'll have it filed by the end of the month.
Yeah, that, and I think potentially there might be other people involved, and they're still trying to investigate to figure out who those people are. I think the other thing is, well, I mean, we know that James is a suspect and he's in jail. So yeah, that's probably what they're waiting on, is either to find a body or motive, possibly. What do you think motive would be if, let's say that James were solely responsible? Just theoretically.
I think the money, whether or not he had any out there at the trailer, it doesn't matter if they thought there was.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe not necessarily knowing whether or not it was a check that Dylan received or if he had cash. The other part of it is that Dylan was buying the land that James was squatting on. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe Dylan was like, I don't like you and you're not going to be here after I finish purchasing this land. So I wonder if that could have been part of it. Not losing what
possibly
little bit he had.
But there's so much open land out there that he could have found another place to squat easily enough. in
That's
my
true.
opinion. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just vast open space out there.
Yeah.
Well, I did share this on Cynthia's live stream that we did earlier. I'm gonna share it again. I don't believe this will impede this investigation. I believe it will sort of give you more insight into James Brenner, but he was nicknamed the Dirt Farmer. And the people, well, the source that I have in Lucin, they didn't understand what this meant, but they were constantly told to stay away from this dirt farmer. They came to find out that this dirt farmer was actually James Brenner. When I asked the source, why would he be named this? Because I'm thinking dirt, burying someone, something like that. But they were just like, I don't know. He was just not a good guy, and we were told to stay away from him. If I ever do a documentary on this case, that will be the name of it. I promise you that. Because what I know and what I believe at this time, I think Dirt Farmer is the perfect title for that.
He also did own those 10 acres too. And you and I had talked about like the whole thing about him getting thrown off of the grain shed land.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, if he owned this 10 acres, then why was he staying on the land with the grain shed? And you brought up a really good point. You were like, well, how much does it cost to pull a trailer? And those trailers are already there. He has nothing to live in on those 10 acres. So,
Right. So to be clear, James Brenner does own 10 acres of property
mhm.
on the Nevada side of the border, but there's nothing there. So we were kind of like, why? He has his own land, but he's squatting on this other land. And, I thought about it and I was like, well, it kind of makes sense. He did not have anything. These people that left this trailer behind, well, that's shelter. That's a place to live. So even though he owns these 10 acres, which out there is literally nothing, but even though he owns this, what good is it if you can't have water, if you don't have a trailer to put on it? What good is it? It's useless, right?
I've talked
So
to I've talked to some people in central Wyoming, and they have giant they're plastic containers that probably about the size of a kid's swimming pool, which they fill up in town and take water out to their places out on the reservation. It's possible to live. It's more work, but he could do it. And as for not having a place to live, I look on KSL classifieds all the time, and I see trailers for free pop up on the free section from time to time. You could have got one of those. You just need to move it. Can move it with a big truck.
Lynette, I literally heard yesterday from a Lucin resident that Dylan was going to the, what do I want to call it, Cynthia? The basin, the watering hole out there in Lucin.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And he
She
was
called it the
filling up
pond.
water jugs
Yeah. She called it
because he
the
had no
pond.
water.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say something here. I'll put it in private chat. See if you want to talk about that.
Go ahead. But yeah, we definitely heard about that yesterday. That they were sort of surprised that Dylan was going and filling up like gallon jugs of water.
And she said he was drinking it, which she was personally shocked about. But
Yes. 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 If you would like to go ahead and speak on that, Cynthia, please do. I'm okay with that.
I don't recall exactly what the words she used when she was saying it, but she was saying something along the lines of there's a pond down there that Dylan would have used for irrigation. And well, it's kind of like a public watering hole, I guess. Everyone goes there and collects water. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Is that what she said?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like this. Lynette, if you, the word is right on the tip of my tongue, but it's like this. This pond. It's not the Great Salt Lake, but
I
it's
think they
like
call
this.
it the Oasis.
Okay, something of that nature. But that Dylan was going out there and filling up gallon jugs of that, because he didn't have water. And that was literally yesterday.
And she said they
Not
had like
a
this.
resident of Montello, a resident
Mhm.
of Lucin. Okay.
And she said he had like this plan to have a pipeline installed that was supposed to be used to like disperse the water to people in the community, and he wanted it. Did she say all
Body
for
break.
himself,
I'll be
something
right
like
back.
that?
Keep going, Cynthia.
So she said he wanted to put this giant water pipe in that would go to the pond so he could use it for irrigation. So that was interesting to me because if the entire community needed it, then how did they feel about his plan?
Well, if he's planning to irrigate his triticale with that, that would become a major problem because that
Yeah,
would take a lot of water. I mean,
yeah,
doing it for personal use is one thing, but a crop, that's going to completely deplete it.
yeah. I think she was saying that he was going to have a pipe put in, or the local government was talking about putting a pipe in, but Dylan wanted it just for the pond, and that people in the community would have needed it and wanted it dispersed elsewhere. From my recollection,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Well,
what she was
I've heard that talked about, and knowing, finding out he didn't have water on the property
No,
certainly
yeah,
makes that more of a motive for the other people who are in the region and going there, because they probably have some of those giant containers that go in the back of the truck, like I've seen out in central Wyoming,
yeah,
and and if he's diverting the water away from the oasis, then that is a huge problem for anybody because they might be coming from miles around to fill up there.
yeah.
That would have been the source of water that was for the trains when it was the stop on the train line before they moved it over to Montello.
Hmm. Yeah,
I'm trying to go back up to this comment where it says that doesn't make sense. Because yeah, I'm trying to find it. I just saw it. Chat moved, and it's like disappeared. But it basically, if you could rewrite that comment, I think you know who you are. But you said that did not make sense because Dylan had water rights, and something else.
allowed him to have a well and pump.
Well,
So I mean, that's
having a well and pump, that's only for your land to drag it from the Lucin, the Oasis. That he doesn't have any right to that. Um, he can go fill up water there just like anybody else, but there's absolutely no right unless he bought the water rights for that property. Then he could do it, but I've not heard any
Yeah,
mention that.
I was definitely hearing yesterday or the day before. I keep saying yesterday, but these are really sort of running together, just because there's so much information in this case. But really, it was the day before that he was using water jugs and going and getting water. So, you know, whether that's correct or not, I do not know.
Well, there's plenty of water under the bedrock. You know, if he drilled a well, and we tried to dig one by hand
I don't
on
know.
our land, which was closer to Rosette, and we got down to the bedrock, which was probably 15, 20 feet down, and um, tried to, you know, go through it manually with a pick, but I think my dad gave up on that and just bit the bullet and had a well drilled. So it wouldn't have been that big a deal for Dylan to do that, but for some reason he doesn't appear that he was taking that route.
Yeah. Resdane says with Dylan's amount of acreage, he was given water rights to the aquifer with a well in his crop, let alone he created a water holding pond too. I mean, this is just what the lady told us.
No, yes, there's a main water pipe coming down in Lucin. Okay. I'm gonna try to make another phone call if you guys wanna keep talking. Hopefully she comes on. If not, it's fine.
I'm just looking at the comments real quick, you guys.
No, you're fine. I'm looking for the phone number actually. So even though I just talked to this person yesterday, oh okay, I found it. Okay, so I'm gonna mute while I make this call. If she answers, she answers. If she doesn't, she doesn't. We'll just see.
So Karmic Vibes said maybe he wanted to get other water too. I mean, that's what, like I said, this is just what the lady said. But that's what it sounded like she was saying, that he wanted water that everyone else needed as well.
No, it's not unusual for people to buy property, then they sell the property but retain the water rights or the mineral rights.
Yeah.
And so I know that Tooele County does that systematically. Anytime some land, farmland comes up for sale, they buy it so that they can have the water rights to feed the growing community as opposed to farms.
Yeah.
And
No answer, so that's okay. But either way, I didn't give a heads up for that, so they didn't answer. But it would have been a person from Lucin that would have been able to talk quite a bit about the water coming down from a place called like Lion Mountain into the valley and things like that. But they didn't answer, so I can't get them on the horn at this moment.
Modest man, that's not correct about everywhere in Utah. Only if you own the land, you own the water rights. That's not true.
Thank you
I
for answering that, Lynette.
I have a third of an acre lot, and everybody on the street has water
Did you say
rights in it.
scree?
Hmm?
Did you just say scree?
I'm not sure.
Lynette, I swear a little bit of Tupac gangster twinkled out of you and you said scree. If I have to go back and watch this YouTube live stream just to hear you say screed, I will. Okay. I am positive that you just said on the screed. And I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Street. On the street.
When did Lynette become a crypt? Like, holy shit.
On my street, everybody has artesian wells, and they recently went and examined everybody's rights and apportioned how much they have a right to use. But that's the exception in the area. Most people don't have water rights with their property. And as I say, Tooele County is systematically buying the land and selling the land on without the water rights. So it's not true that every property has the water rights come with it.
And again,
Maybe once upon a time.
I'll just say this, with Infoman or whoever, Modest Man, whoever said that, it's really good to have these sorts of lives because, people can have a perception of things and then there can be an answer to it. It does not have to be an argument. It does not have to be a pissing contest. It is literally an exchanging of information. Okay? So I appreciate your answer, Lynette.
Okay. Yeah. One other case. My best friend. He's got some. I think he's got 80 acres up Spanish Fort Canyon, and when he purchased the place, he had the option of buying the water rights at that time, and he elected not to do so at that time, and he's kind of kicked himself ever since. So it's it's something that may go with the property, it may not.
I'm so sorry, Lynette. I am not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at this comment.
So,
I can't help myself. It's just the most ridiculous. Hi, Linda. Of course, your name would be named Linda. But I would like to read Linda's comment out loud, if we will. I also think Jim Terry should get credit for keeping this story alive. Linda, listen, Linda. Linda, listen, okay? I want you to call the FBI and ask them what they think about that. So you can get that answer yourself. Linda, listen, Linda. Okay? So anyway, moving on. You know me, you guys. That's a hilarious statement because Dylan's mother, and I don't give a damn what you people think about her. I am not in contact with her. So if you think that I'm pro Candace on Candace's side, you're wrong. I've never spoke to that woman a day in my life. Facts. Okay? But if you think that man has the answers, girl, I got an island I can sell you. I just bought a little pool for my kids. I paid $140 for it. I'll sell it to you for $2,000 with a side of Jim Terry bullshit. And if you want to eat that up, feel free. Okay? But again, I will implore you to call the FBI yourself and ask them what they think about Jim Terry getting credit for keeping this story alive. Candace Cooley, whether you love her, you hate her, whatever you think about her, if it was not for her coming out, running her mouth to the media, to YouTube, do you think this case would be where it is? Do you? Ask yourself that critical thinking question. Okay? And again, please call the FBI and record it because I want to hear them laugh at you. I really do. Like that would make my day. Anyway, moving on. Sorry, Lynette, we have to get petty around here because people just get petty around here.
Around these streets.
Oh, caseworker wants to come up. I'm sorry, Case. I didn't see you. Yeah, on these streets. Listen, Lynette is not playing. Cynthia is not playing. These people do research. Lynette is a paralegal and has been for a long time. Cynthia, extremely good. I'm just the mouthpiece, straight up. Okay, that's what this is. But these two people have legitimate information, facts. Okay. But I'm going to let caseworker up. We want to say hi to her. I definitely want to say hi to her or him. Actually, I shouldn't say her because I don't know if it's him or not. But let's bring caseworker up. Hopefully, cluckers. I seen your little chickens. Hopefully, they actually speak and Lynette doesn't have to do a chicken naked dance for us. Okay. Let's bring them up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, I can. How are
Yeah, I'm
you?
actually a he.
You're a he. So good to hear.
I've actually been part of your channel for a while. I changed my name because I was getting some hate email. You gave me a tarot reading here a while back. I asked about my finances, and it totally went the opposite way. But I don't know if you remember that. But
How did
anyway,
it go? Please tell me my wrongdoings. Tell me how that went.
oh well, it's okay. Everything's looking better. But anyway, first of all, I want to tell you how much I love your channel. Out of all these channels that are covering this case, I found yours to be the most down to earth, gets the most done within the least amount of time without having to be on every single night, making $500 a night in super chats or whatever. You know, I think you're great. You know, just so you know that.
Thank you so much,
But
caseworker. As you guys have seen, we've been live for an hour and 37 minutes. Somebody is super chatting me $2, which I greatly appreciate. But I hope that what we're doing is coming across as caring for Dylan and Dylan rounds only and not about money. And I feel like people like you see that, and I very much appreciate it.
and Sylvia, you too. I've just checked out your channel recently. I like your channel as well.
She's great.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Okay,
And
my
also,
question.
just in case
Oh,
you
I'm sorry.
guys do not know, Lynette also has her own channel. Glorindella. Yes, she has her own channel. She was at James Brenner's hearing. She is a paralegal. She's very good with the paperwork and she does have her own channel. I'm going to link that once the stream is over. I'm going to link Cynthia's and Glorindella's, both of their channels. I will pin it to the top of my comment section so you guys can check out both of their channels. So there you go. But I definitely want to hear what you have to say, caseworker.
Okay, I did have a question. I missed part of the chat because I was having technical issues a while ago. My question, what are your thoughts on maybe, because I know you're saying you know a lot more than what you're releasing, and I don't know if it alludes to this, but I have a young man in my family that went missing, in 2020. He was only 15 years old. We've still not found him. We think that he was kidnapped by a drug cartel and is being made to. I'm sorry, I'm going to start crying. But
No, it's
we
okay.
think he has been kidnapped by a drug cartel and is being made to work in fields. You know, because here in Oklahoma, where I'm at, we have medical marijuana is a real big deal, and also even not even medical marijuana, they grow it, you know, for non-legal
I have
reasons as well.
family that lives in Oklahoma, so I'm familiar.
Okay, well, anyway, we are thinking, just from what the FBI has, you know, said and everything, we think that that's what's going on in his case. We don't know that for sure, but you know, we think that. And I can't even say his name. You know, they told us to stay quiet about it. You know, but I will email you his name if you would like to look into this case a little bit too. But my
You
question, my
absolutely do not have to stay quiet about his name. If this is a missing person and we can help in any way, we absolutely will.
Okay. I
Um,
will definitely email you his name. There's
okay.
not very much out there at all. We've not found hardly any leads other than just the vehicles that were seen on the road where he went missing. They think are connected to a cartel center. That's not too far from here. But anyway, my thoughts is, Dylan was he had a reputation from the picture we'd been painted of him anyway. He had this reputation of being a hard worker, knowledgeable about farm work. What would your thoughts be about maybe that this is what happened to him, maybe?
My thoughts are this. Um, Again, I'll preface this with his family is not on trial for me. Dylan is not on trial for me. But if you want my honest opinion, I think Dylan was very much a rebellious 19-year-old.
I think
I
that too.
think his freedom, lack of parental supervision or guidance, however you want to put that. And again, I feel like I have to keep saying this, and it's because I do not want Candace or Justin to ever feel that I am besmirching them. We all have passed. I divorced my husband, my children. I always say this because this happened to me, that in a divorce, the children suffer the most. I think that Dylan absolutely fits that bill. Um, I think that he was a person that was on his own. I think he was maybe seeking out a parental figure or guidance. It was not his parents, his grandparents to an extent, but at the same time, Dylan was finding Dylan. And the people that he found, I think his naivety with his age hurt him greatly. Um, Aside from the great farmer and just, totally focused on that we've heard about Dylan, I have continuously heard about Dylan being bold, about Dylan not backing down from a fight, about Dylan standing up for himself, not a hunchover, not a kid that's going to be bossed around. And I keep calling him a kid, but technically he was an adult male at 19. And so I think that bravado, I think that boldness was a strength to him in his eyes, and then ultimately a downfall that he didn't see coming. If that makes sense to you.
And caseworker, were you also asking whether or not we thought that the cartel was involved in Dylan's disappearance? Are you there?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Were you also asking if we thought the cartel might be involved in Dylan's disappearance? Hello?
With caseworker, I'll say this. The cartel was introduced to me in this case, probably week 2, I want to say. That the cartel was seen around Montello in that area. Not really surprising. It is a vast place. It's a lawless place. It really wouldn't be surprising to hear of Mexican mules, ushering people across the border, this and that. But in my gut feeling, and with who I've talked to and with what I know, I don't feel that this was any part of this case. I feel like what happened to Dylan was by the people that surrounded him the closest.
I have to agree with that because when I've heard about
Can I say something
cartel
too when you're done?
when cartel farms are discovered in Utah, they're usually in more remote places with some tree cover and so forth to help obscure them from the sky, so they don't get spotted. Um, and I've never heard of any cases of that in that part of the state. Usually, it's in the mountains, down out towards Price or southern Utah. I've never heard of any um, cartel grow operations out in that area. It would be too easy to spot. The military flies over all the time
Yeah,
on
because they are very close to Area 51.
well, they've got Hill Air Force Base is just south of Ogden, and they fly across the Salt Lake, and there's the Utah test range, which is uh, between Tooele County and up into Box Elder. So you get a lot of um, fighter jets training over that region, and when we'd be out on our land, we'd hear the sonic booms, from those jets. So I don't think that any grow operation would go undetected.
Possibly.
Is
And we
is
do
the
have a
FBI
man
involved?
out there with an entire weed farm. So I mean there's that. But I do want to hear from caseworker because he did want to
I was
speak
just going to ask him
after
real
you,
quick.
Lori. So case please go ahead.
I just want to say something. There was somebody made a comment in your thing. It was Graham James. He said, "Guys, this is not an Ozark." Um, I take very offense to that. I did not mean that. I think that this is a conspiracy theory, like they came and got him, like on Ozark, because I have a family member in my family that we think that is what happened to him, that he was kidnapped. I'm hanging up.
Are you okay? You're fine. You can continue. Up. Okay. Listen. Um, I'll say this. This case is very difficult for people. I have absolutely had these moments that caseworker has had. Cynthia has absolutely had these moments where it gets too much and it gets too, and we're just like, you know what? We just want to back away and step away and just be out. So caseworker, I will not hold that against you. I fully understand, and you are always welcome in my chat. But I do understand the gravity of this case and the frustration of saying things, people not agreeing or agreeing. No, Christ Rasp, please don't. Please don't. I love you to death, and I know you always have funny things to say, but please don't, because not with that. Not at this moment, just because it is really heavy. And some people take this very seriously, myself included, Cynthia included, Lynette included. And it just does really, it weighs on you. So we're going to let caseworker have his time, and that's okay. That's okay. There was a comment that I saw, and I know I lost it. I have no idea where the heck it was at. I think I had it up on my chat, and somehow it got lost somewhere. But I did want to address it. No, not that one. No, not that one. True Crime Addict is saying no cartel involvement, in my opinion. Again, I'll speak on this just a little bit. early on, I'm going to say like maybe week 2 of this case, that cartel was introduced to me, that they were out there. They were strange looking, Mexican guys. They were dressed well. They did not speak to anyone. This is what was told to me. And they knew that they were cartel. So I'll just leave that there because that is what was told.
I also don't think that the FBI would be, on the incorrect path, and they obviously feel like there's a direction to go. So that's part of the reason why I don't feel that the cartel is involved either in this situation. Not that they're not involved in other disappearances, but in this situation, I don't think so.
Yes, we might have a caller calling in. If she does, we will see. She just texted me back. It is one of the people from Lucin that I called. So we'll see if she says yes or no. I did just ask her if I could call and if she would come up. So we'll see. But either way, I do not want to put down anyone that gets such a strong feeling that they just need to leave. Because true crime cases are extremely heavy. There's a lot of heavy content. There's death. You are looking at everything, like the worst that society has to offer. There's just nothing pretty about it. And, people have very strong reactions. I have those reactions behind the scenes. You guys might not see me be like that on air, but people behind the scenes definitely know that I have my moments. So, let's see this comment here. Christ Wrath. Oh, Christ Wrath. Of course, I would have to pick your comment. When I was 18, I bought a tractor and started a business. Okay. Owner operator. I started in a town called Homeland in California. It was just like Montello. Christ, if you want to come up here and tell me about your town experience, I will listen. My town was full of people like Jim, Kurt, and a gaggle of thinking methods. Come on up, Christ, for the love of God. For the love of God, Christ, come on up. Okay, I'm going to mute my mic and attempt to call this person again. If she doesn't answer, obviously she doesn't want to come on. She's texting me, but she's not really saying if she wants to come on, so we'll see.
All right, I'm going to go through these comments and see if there's any for us to answer, Lynette. You're still here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just reading comments.
There are a lot of comments to go through.
Graham James, can they grow poppies on that land? Probably, because they do that in Afghanistan, and the environment is not dissimilar.
All right. Christ's Wrath says Dylan was a very old soul. I think of a 35-year-old man in a 19-year-old's body, someone who knew what he wanted and did what needed to get to that point. I completely agree with that. And that is a primary reason, in addition to talking with people that were Jess and I, well, Jess, she did most of the talking, but talking to people that were very close to Dylan when he was living out in the Lucin, Montello area. That's the main reason why I don't think that he did anything like walked away from his life or hurt himself. Also, his family said that as well. But just to confirm, these other people that knew him very well were saying that that's not something that he would have done because he knew what he wanted to do in life, and that was farming. What do you think about that, Lynette?
Well, I think the fact that his triticale had sprouted and he was very excited about that. I don't see him abandoning it because, you know, he's been working towards this for a few years and this was his first crop. So
Yeah.
I really don't see him just, you know, going off and starting a new life somewhere else. And there's been no activity on his bank account or anything like that. And,
Yeah.
you know,
it was like he was just at the cusp of seeing the fruits of his labor. So it wouldn't make any sense at all. Shoestring Homestead said Area 51 is down off the 50. So maybe this will be.
I think it's closer to Las Vegas. Not really in part of Nevada close to Montello.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people like putting theories out there about alien abduction. We're not going down that path, but hey, I mean, I guess whatever. To each his own, right? When it comes to opinions, I suppose.
On pass for Dylan, I haven't heard yay or nay on that point. Have you?
On what?
Passport?
I have not heard anything about that.
Do you know? Okay.
No, I'm not sure if he has one or not. I don't think I've even seen, even on like his family's profile pictures and stuff, any traveling outside of the United States. I mean, I guess maybe they didn't post pictures, but you'd think if they didn't do a lot of traveling outside of the United States that he wouldn't have a passport. Maybe. I guess it's possible.
No, there's not been any photos of, you know, something like trips to Mexico or something. You'd need that these days, or trips up to Alaska, you know, going through Canada. So I haven't seen anything.
Like Dylan would drink it, you know, but nobody was doing like that lady said, where nobody's filling up large amounts of water. Everybody goes to Grouse Creek for Wendover for that.
Yeah, so Dylan would go to the spring and fill up the water jugs of water.
Yeah, just a little one, you know, like a Terry in his truck kind of deal, so he could make coffee in the morning and stuff, is what he said.
Because he didn't have running water to his camper, right?
I have no idea. I have probably not. I don't know. No, because the well was underneath, I guess, pumping into the pond. What I'm being told, I don't know. I just know what people told me here about it that may know, but I don't think he had water in there if his well was filling up the pond. But I don't know. I really don't know. But like you said, maybe. So, I don't know. Yeah,
Not sure if we were supposed to have sound or not.
Yeah, I was just saying that myself. Like, was it supposed to be the opposite where it was muted and then she realized it wasn't. But Lisa Clemens, I'm hearing that this is a simple case of mental illness. Jim Brenner's volatile state of mind, if anything, maybe add him wanting money. Curious if you feel it's something straightforward. I mean, I don't think anyone that is completely level-headed would be as hot-headed as James Brenner. He's attacked a lot of people, and he had that shooting back in 1986. So mental illness may have definitely played a part into it. And I do think there was money motivation. What do you think?
I think he's clearly, Jim Brenner's a hothead.
Mhm.
I don't think that, I mean, you say anybody who does things like that would have to be crazy, but he's not legally insane.
No. Yeah,
He
that's
can
true.
appreciate the difference between right and wrong, which is the difference between legal sanity.
I was just asking Jess real quick if she knows that she's muted. But yeah, I agree. There's only a difference between legal insanity and having issues with controlling, maybe anger management. And then do you that it was money motivated with James Brenner?
With James Brenner.
Well, in the Elizabeth Smith say that he was
out of the government book about the law
Yeah.
document. I pulled it out for you. And it says, and I texted it to you probably before you asked me to come on. So if you want the actual detail, it's there about the rights,
Okay. Well, again, you're watching. I'll put the link in the chat. If you want to come up, come up. If not, I'm going to have to get off the phone and continue with my live stream. But it would be nice to hear from you with facts about these water rights and things like that. But if not, I understand.
Okay, well, like I said, check your text, though. It might give you a lot of answers there that I sent you.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So sorry. That was that was a person that lives in Lucin. She's watching the show, so hi to you. And she is saying things about the water rights. So she wanted me to really just repeat them. And I was like, no, it would be much better if you said them because you're much more knowledgeable about them. But, she said that she's had several neighbors tell her to not come on YouTube. I can't really blame them, but that's what she said. So.
I think it would be really good to her on because for us to have to try to explain what she's saying to say to herself.
Yeah, no, but she did end up saying, that Dylan did go and get water from this spring. So, hey, NorCal girl, how are you? It's just there's a couple people that I've tried to call during this live stream. This person called back. Another person that I would really like to bring on, but not answering at this moment. So it is what it is. But we can still continue to talk and chatter and theorize and talk about things that are going on with this case. And also, I'm sorry, I'm looking at Texas, but But also, you know, we just have to be
Oh, you're right.
okay. I'm reading your private chat now. I'm like, where's Cynthia going? Cynthia, come back. You haven't even left yet. Come back, lady. um. Oh, Tamara is saying that you're a little blurry, Cynthia. So I don't know, but she's saying that.
Maybe when she comes back, she won't be blurry because it'll
Hopefully, she
freshen
won't be
it up.
blurry. Clarified already. The aquifer for Dylan's well was not salt water. So there's that. Mama 4. It's 2 a.m. in Florida. Not sure what time it is out there. It is 1:59.
It's midnight in Utah.
Yes, I'm East Coast time here as well. So yeah, it's 1:59, 2 a.m. So I haven't gone live in days about this case. There are definitely reasons for that. Um, again, I could just, you know, and I'm fully aware of this. And the thought of it just sort of turns my stomach in a lot of ways because I always keep Dylan at the center of what is happening here. So with the people I talk to or have talked to, it would just be so easy to come on here and tell you guys the most salacious gossip in these towns and all this kind of thing and this and that and this and that. I just refuse. I just refuse. It's why I talked to law enforcement today. It's it's why I don't come on here and say every last thing that is said to me, and it's a lot. It's so much that I've lost days of sleep, like entire days and nights, literally. I think Cynthia could definitely tell you, along with the detective, that there have been so many sleepless nights, so much back and forth of theorizing, of sharing of information that we had, talking to FBI, talking to people behind the scenes. It's been a whole lot. And I always feel really, really selfish if I say something along the lines of, I just need a break. And I feel selfish in saying that because this is not about me. Dylan Rounds is missing. And whatever has happened to him, I'm going to say is definitely way worse than is what is happening in my life. I am comfortably sitting in my dining room and I do not feel like I have the whatever to complain about being tired or exhausted or this or that over a case when this young man is missing. I can be tired all day. You can sleep when you're dead. So I struggle with that because I am crazy tired. And then I'm also just like, this is completely unfair. And you sound like an a-hole, even complaining about anything like that. That's how I feel. Drop the link, love. Oh, North Cal, you ready to come up, Bill? I will absolutely have you up as usual. Let me go ahead and drop it for you. This is for NorCal girl. I did make this an open panel. NorCal, I don't feel like I really need to say this to you, but I'm gonna say it anyway because if anybody else clicks this live link, Jesus, live stream link and tries to come up, if you're gonna be disrespectful in my chat in any way, shape, or form, bye. Okay. So the link is dropped, Nor. And if you want to come up, come on up. Lisa, thank you for your passion in this case, Jess. Yeah, I do feel very passionate about this case, and I'm also going to feel really selfish about saying this. But what drew me to this case initially was that Dylan went missing on my birthday. That's what it was. I saw it and I was like, this kid went missing on my birthday, and I had this great birthday, and my family like showed me all this love, and this 19-year-old kid went missing. And I sort of shelved it for a minute. Like I didn't really like go into it too much. I was like, oh, that's really sad. But then I went into it. And yeah, I feel like my path and Dylan Round's path were meant to cross in whatever capacity. NorCal, I'm gonna bring you up. Hey girl.
Hey,
Looking super cute in your glasses. How are you?
my camera's working this time.
Yeah, I see that.
How are you?
I am stressed and brain almost over like exploding, but I'm okay. I'm alive. Okay. So
Yeah.
how are you? And what are you thinking about this case?
Well, just piggybacking off of what you were just talking about, that like I felt drawn to this case and I've been following it since day one, and my heart's just super broken every day. And yeah, I'm just trying to stick to the facts about everything, that comes, all the stuff that is talked about every day. I'm just trying to I'm focusing and trying to stay headstrong, stick to the facts, and just pray. I mean, what else can you do?
What else can you do? Yep.
I don't live close enough to be like boots on the ground out there helping. If I was within 3 hours, I would be out there helping. Honestly, I wish I was
Well,
closer.
I live in Delaware. I live far away from Utah and Nevada. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter where you live. People sometimes feel very comfortable with people that they don't even know, and they'll talk to and they'll share things with. And it doesn't matter where you're at on this planet, your information could still be very, very valuable. Just saying. Say something, Nor. I think she's frozen. Pig is saying, this is what made me drawn to Summer. She went missing on my mom's birthday. Wow. Okay, yeah. This is what made me drawn to Dylan. I was just like, wow, this young kid went missing on my birthday? Like how? Oh, Glory, you're back. Okay, good. I think Nora is frozen. I'm not sure where Cynthia is. Oh, she said she would be back, but she's not. So I guess I'll carry this whole show on my back. Nora, do you want me to kick you out and bring you back in? I'm gonna take you off, and then I'm gonna try to bring you back. Up, still frozen. But it's a beautiful face shot, so we'll just leave her up there. Glowhead, go. I said glowhead. Glowhead, Glory. Glowhead.
Well, I was out of the room for a moment, so I didn't hear what was being discussed. So,
Yeah.
I don't know who this is. Hank Kane is Nor. Hank Kane is hitting on you in the chat. Hank, We are trying to discuss a true crime case, and this is Hank's opinion. She is a little hottie. So, you can never control human behavior because Nori's up here to talk about a missing young man, but Hank saw I'm going to say a opportunity. He saw a opportunity, but she's a little hottie. Well, I'll agree with you. But can we get back to the case, please? Nori is a little hottie. I don't know if she wants to be your hottie, but either way. So, Karmic Fives. Oh, she dropped down. Kurt is grieving, and I'm glad I got to hear the entire interview. It's saddening that people are twisting all sorts of things. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to be fairly normal that things get twisted to suit the theory that individuals have. So, pretty par for the course.
Yes. It's just there is a tremendous amount. Oh, thank God you're back. Where have you been? Cynthia, I'm firing you as soon as this live stream is done. I swear to God, David is not getting his birthday gifts. Like, it's all off the table now. It's all done.
It's not
all
David.
done.
No, I was tending.
I've been dying for a cigarette break, so I'm like, where the hell? Like, surely Lynette can carry this on, and she was doing it. But I'm like, where the hell is Cynthia? Like, clearly, my body's just craving nicotine, like some kind of Fruit Loop. That
I
should be
am
a
gonna have to
clip.
jump off this live soon. Though.
How dare you? Can I take one more? And I want you to know that I said "How dare you" in all caps. But can I have one cigarette break before you go, please?
Yeah. Did you respond to this comment that's up on the screen?
Kurt, yeah, I read it and I left it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna go have a smoky smoke. Terrible habit. Do as I say, not as I do. Do not smoke. Okay, it's a terrible thing. Cynthia and Lynette, I completely trust both of you. You guys do well. I'll be back. And then Cynthia is apparently leaving me. So I'm gonna have like separation anxiety. I'm gonna be David Jr. I swear to God, I'm gonna be him.
David's my son, you guys. He's very attached to me for sure. So what did I miss, Lynette?
Oh, well, I had to step away myself for a minute, but
Oh, okay.
so let's see what questions.
And find out through the comments. Yeah.
Yeah. I see a comment by Crash Raft saying, "Caseworker, I thought Dylan was 19." Yes, he is. I think he or she is referring back to another missing person, 15 years old. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see caseworker said a 15-year-old, 17 now, family member went missing, and we have reason to believe the cartel was involved in his disappearance. I don't think my question should be compared to a TV show.
No.
Well, as we said before, the cartel very well could have something to do with other disappearances, but we don't feel at this time that that's what happened with Dylan.
No, to me, I think that they've got some pretty strong evidence on Jim Brenner to have
Mhm.
named him in the charging documents in regards
Yeah.
to the weapons charges, because they don't want to do anything that might be considered prejudicial, but they wanted the judge to know that this guy shouldn't be out on bail. So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
the
He
judge was not having any of that.
no. Yeah, I think the risk to, well, the locals in the documents that we went over earlier, that's what the officer said in his statement that was filed with the court, is that at the bottom of it, it was just saying that the officer feels that James is a danger to the locals and also to Don. So it was kind of like they don't want him out messing with potential witnesses or scaring people into not coming forward.
Yeah, you get witness intimidation, witness tampering.
Yeah.
There was a case back in Utah in 1985 where a woman went missing. She was a victim in an assault, and the trial was coming up, and suddenly she disappears without a trace. And they've never found her in the nearly 40 years since she went missing.
That's
Um,
horrible. Yeah, that kind of stuff does.
and that was a case of witness, doing away with the witness because he thought, I won't get convicted if there's no body, and he's on death row.
Well, it sounds like justice was served then.
Yeah, but it took a long time, and they had it overturned, had to have a new trial, and it's been a long, drawn out case.
Yeah.
But
And that's what happens.
it's possible to do no body cases. I remember one back in the 1970s where a pair of um, kids from France were over, and over in France, people go hitchhiking all the time. There's an incentive. They get like coupons, and they give the driver coupons to when they go hitchhiking, and it's a win-win situation for everybody over there. But they came over as tourists over here, and they hitchhiked and connected with the wrong person, and they had a conviction, and only after the conviction did they find the bodies at last. So and that was the first, I think, case that they've had locally with a no body.
It probably makes it way more difficult, but
It is,
eventually,
because
yeah.
the reasonable doubt, well, is this person really gone, or did they stage their own death? And so it's definitely, because you always wonder in your back of your mind, did the person really disappear? And I was actually writing a a mystery story where the person tries to frame somebody for a no body case, knowing the ins and out of forensics.
Mhm.
But never
Yeah.
got that
Go
one.
ahead, please.
Oh, we were just talking about like a
No,
nobody.
I was listening to went out to the garage and I pulled it
Okay.
up on my phone. So I was just listening to you guys. Yeah, so
Okay.
it's okay. I'm caught up. But anyway, I didn't want you guys to stop talking because I came back. I just go
Oh no,
ahead.
I was finished with the point on nobody prosecutions. So it's definitely, it's always stronger if you've got the body, but it's not insurmountable.
Absolutely. Um, and I really think that that's what, again, the FBI is searching for, is the body. I hate to say it that way, but I do feel like Dylan's parents have all but just said it outright that they are aware that Dylan will most likely not be returned to them alive. Um, and that's very heavy to say, even for me. Dylan's not my child. I don't know him. I've never met him. I just picture it as my own child. And so for these people to be this logical, I feel like they put on this armor, like, okay, we're going to look for our kid in whatever way. And behind the scenes, there's most likely a lot of breakdowns. Um, I've talked to Cynthia extensively about this, about Justin. I worry about Justin. And I worry about Justin because this is a man that, when I watched that interview with Nate Eaton, I said it before and I'll say it again, that I just seen a man brimming with anger, with regrets, with all sorts of things. And this type of scenario with his son, his eldest child being missing, it creates this perfect storm for a person that is already harboring so much disappointment, anger, upsetness, however you want to say it, to do something that they should not. Um, I don't particularly worry about that with Candace. I feel like Candace is the type of person that in front of people, that she's very capable of holding it together, and she's most likely a person that when she goes to bed and no one's looking, the tears pour. Whereas with Justin, I feel like Justin is at any moment ready to explode. And I am not saying that in a bad way. I am not saying like, oh, Justin's crazy or he's just going to explode. That is not how I am saying this. I am saying that in a way that I worry for him. I worry for him. I worry for this situation because just, okay, I don't want to get emotional. Justin, for some reason, makes me very emotional. And
Well,
it's
I
because,
think, oops, sorry. I think that it's rather than an explosion, I think it'd be more of the case of like a dam with all the water building up behind it, and the sudden potential release that something, the crack in the dam, all the potential energy flowing out. Not that he's going to explode, but it just might get to the point where it can't hold any more in, and something's got to give.
yeah,
I
I just very much feel that with Justin. And I almost, I think I pretty much say this daily to Cynthia, that I worry greatly for him. Um, I don't know how else to say that. It's just I see a man that is in pain. I see a man that has great anger. And if you know anything about anger, anger is not even a real emotion. Anger is the emotion that covers up pain, hurt, disappointment, all of those sorts of things. But when people don't know how to display that, it comes out in the easiest way. And the easiest way is anger. And I see that with Justin. And I do not want Justin to do something to whom he thinks may have hurt Dylan. I would never want to see Justin Rounds in prison for potentially hurting the person or people that he thinks hurt Dylan. Even though, as a parent, I will absolutely say I understand him. I understand that feeling because I would want to do the same. But what a tragedy it would be if Justin Rounds did take this into his own hands and then end up in prison over these scumbags that did something to his child. I would probably spend my time advocating strongly for him to be released if something like that happens. But it just, I fear that for him, and I don't want that to happen.
Well, if
And
something like that happened, I think that there'd be a strong case for temporary insanity.
yeah, it seems like Justin has so much inside that's just sort of bursting to get out, and it hasn't got out. And I don't know which way that's going to come out. This is why I've said that I feel or I hope that the people that are closest to him, that surround him, that he trusts, are truly there for him. Because there is no more greater time in his life. I don't care about his wife cheating on him. I don't care about his family, his mom and dad issues. Your child is something different. And so I really hope at this moment the people that are the closest to him do not fuel his anger, but instead try to temper it and help him because I really think that he needs it. And I say that in the most genuine way that I possibly can.
It's a good point at this point. You know, the official and unofficial suspects and persons of interest uh, who are locked up, it's also for their protection. There's no way for the public to view the prisoners coming and going from the courthouse. They've got a tunnel that they go down deep underground and get brought up by elevator into the courtroom, and there were multiple uh, U.S. Marshals who were present in the courtroom, and you know you have to go through security. Most he could probably do in court is try to make a lunge for him, like the father did in the Larry Nasser trial, and you wouldn't get very far with that. So he's not really going to get a look at the prisoner without there being 3 or 4 U.S. Marshals right there.
I understand, but you have to understand that Justin Rounds is definitely on a mission. And again, I do not blame him. If it was my child, I would absolutely be probably a psychopath. Um, I'm not gonna lie about that. But at this moment, you know, Justin is heavily on Kurt Wadsworth's tail. He is. He watches pretty much everything Kurt does, where Kurt goes, what he's doing. I am not going to speak to Kurt's innocence or guilt. I'm not going to do that. But what I'm saying is that there's some background noise here. Do you guys have something on?
Let me see. I've got a fan.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm hearing. But
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that, but it's just that I greatly fear Justin doing something that I would probably do, which is you hurt my child, I'm going to hurt you. And I just don't want that for him. He's very close to his daughter. He has a younger son as well, younger than Dylan. And I don't
Now,
know.
I
It
would
pains
worry
me
for
to think
Kurt.
about his pain. I still cannot get Cats in the Cradle out of my head. I've listened to it so many times. The last live stream that I did, I played it fully knowing that that live stream would be struck down. It was. I made zero money off that live stream, just so you guys know. I think it had over 1,000 views, but there's no money coming from that because I played the song that Justin Rounds played for his child. And I do not regret it. I will play it again if I want to. That song was pretty perfect, and it just, this is going to take so much healing for their family. And with all of the back stuff that has happened with them, the battle that they have to face with this, all these people online and everywhere, you're a suspect, the dad's this, the mom's this, and this and that. Shut up. Literally, shut your mouth. These people are going to be dealing with something that you can't even imagine. So shut up. It honestly angers me. And again, I have never spoke to Candace Cooley or Justin Browns personally in my life. But please shut the hell up. These are parents looking for their freaking child. And if you cannot conduct yourself on a social platform with some type of tact, some type of integrity, then log off. Please log off because nobody needs you on here attacking them and saying this ridiculous bullshit that you guys have been saying. And I've seen so many of your comments and I'm angry for them. Sorry. You guys know I get pretty passionate when I get upset, but that it does upset me. It just does. It's wrong and it should not happen. I don't give a shit how you feel about Candace Cooley. I don't give a shit how you feel about Justin Rounds. What I know is that I talked to the FBI agent on this case today, and he told me flat out they are not suspects in this case. They have done nothing to their child. They are not looking in that direction in any way, shape, or form. So you could take that to the bank. Okay. And I'll also have you know that I did let this FBI agent know the name of my channel. So I'm sure he'll be checking that out. But yeah, that's how I feel. I'm so sorry. I did see someone send a $20 super chat. The chat's maybe a little fast for me. Whoever did that, I greatly appreciate it. It means a lot to me. So thank you.
That
It's
was
Christ's wrath.
Oh, my buddy. Let me tell you about Christ's wrath, okay? I did this really goofy live stream with my male best friend. And my male best friend's name is Austin. And Christ comments and says, I named, and Austin, my best friend Austin is white, but it's just Christ's wrath humor. He's like, you know what? I named my finest black rooster after Austin. So thank you so much, Christ. You always make me laugh. You always have good commentary, and I appreciate it. Okay, I actually could catch this one. Christ wrath again. $10. It was me. You didn't have to do that twice, Christ. But thank you. Thank you. I very much appreciate that. And I'm sure that Cynthia and Lynette do as well, because these ladies are giving us their time and they do not have to. So thank you, Price Wrath. You know how much I appreciate you behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, and I appreciate that. Um, but if anybody else would like to go on any sort of rant about the ridiculousness that we have been watching on YouTube, please feel free. Okay. Open chat, open panel. And also for you guys, I we might be getting off soon. This is a very long live stream. But again, if you guys want to come up, you guys want to speak your piece, you do not have to agree with me. I always want to make that clear. I'm entitled to my opinion, just as you guys are entitled to yours. Doesn't mean I won't, rebuttal you, but you are welcome to come up and talk and say whatever you want to say. So there's a link. Hit it if you want. Stay anonymous or show your beautiful faces. It does not matter. Quite frankly, I don't care who you are behind the scenes. It doesn't matter. But I do like hearing varying opinions or varying theories. I feel like this is how we all come together and talk about the different things that we know. I have a different skill set than Cynthia does. Cynthia has a different skill set than Lynette does. And so to put these sorts of people together, myself included, it brings a picture all together. You guys are part of that. You guys have comments. You guys want to be heard. I know that. So feel free to come up and say what you want to say.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to jump off this live. It's getting a little bit late over here, and
Okay.
I really enjoyed this live with you, though, and all of your subscribers are amazing, very welcoming. You guys, I enjoy my
You're
time
great.
over here every time.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
guys are awesome.
Thank you,
You have a
Cynthia.
good night, Lynette.
Okay.
Well, morning actually. It's probably morning where you are now.
Oh,
It's
it's
still
definitely
nighttime over
morning.
here. Not it's 11:36 here. So, but yeah.
Oh
Anyways,
no, it's 2:36 a.m. here.
I don't see how you're still going. I'm over here like,
I'm still going. I'm still going. I don't think I've been live in days, so I'm still going. I
yeah.
probably won't be live again for days and days, but when you do it, you do it. So,
All
but
right.
but again, if any of you would like to come up, feel free. If not, I probably will end this live stream. With Cynthia leaving, Lynette still here. Always appreciate her.
You don't
But
get
if
to end it because I'm leaving. No, you guys will be fine without me. I know
no,
you enjoy talking with your subscribers for sure.
I do. I love talking to my subscribers actually. But I want to hear other perspectives, especially ones that don't agree with me. I find them the most interesting.
All right. Good night,
Because
everybody. I'm gonna jump off.
Good night.
all right,
Good
bye,
night.
Cynthia. Thank you so much.
Bye.
I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Okay, bye. All right, Cynthia's out. Me and you, Lynette. NorCal girl is back, and she wants to talk. Hi, Nor. I hope you're not muted, but you are up. NorCal girl? No, yes.
She was having some technical difficulties earlier, so I don't know if
Yeah.
that's been resolved.
Yeah, well, she was. Maybe I don't know if she's muted her mic. I'm not really sure. Nope.
Okay.
She's trying to come back again. So, Nor, are you there? Nor? Nope. I think we're having a lot of technical difficulties on her end. Jim Terry's a scumbag who mooches for money. Well, ain't that the truth? And you know what, Karmic? You know what's really funny? The FBI agrees with you. They do. Sorry. Don't kill the messenger, but they absolutely do. I tried to warn this man weeks ago. He thinks it's awfully funny, and so do the creators that have him on with his ski mask. I'm gonna be laughing when that all comes crashing down upon your head, because when a family fires you and does not want you speaking on their child any longer, and you completely ignore that, and you have that man up on your panel in a mask, which is absolutely childish and ridiculous when you are dealing with a 19-year-old young man missing. Don't be mad at whatever comes to you. I'm just saying.
Well, certainly it shows a complete lack of respect.
It's actually beyond a lack of respect. It is a lack of respect not only for the family of a missing person, is it's the complete lack of respect for the law. You have a lawyer that is trying to serve this con man with a cease and desist, and it's hilarious. It's so funny to come on with a mask. Do you guys recognize this voice? Of course we do. It's been bleeding my eardrums for like weeks. Like, of course we hear this moron. But how funny is it going to be, Doug, when they look at your channel? You already had that sucker taken down for 6 days. Imagine when it's gone forever. And you know what, Doug? I'm going to speak directly to you, sir. You want to create another channel with you and Jim Terry telling the truth? I'm going to tell you as well. FBI, not happy at all. You might want to give them a call and ask about it, and they'll probably tell you the same thing. Just so you know.
Yes, I see the comment about Jim Brenner being moved. Yes, he was in Box Elder County, and now he's in Weber County. He had his case regarding the 2021 assault the other day, and that was postponed. And supposedly he's going to have the trial coming up for the federal charges, but that's not going to happen on the scheduled date because it's going to get postponed too. There's always continuances on these cases to allow the defense to build their case. And if you look at the assault, it's, we're 7 months into 2022, and that case still hasn't come up for trial, and they postponed it again. So there's no way that the federal charges are going to be going to trial on August 12th.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and read off Kathleen's comment. Going to go. She sounds like bashing. No, I'm being absolutely serious, Kathleen. It's not bashing. I promise you that what I'm saying is the truth. You can choose to believe that if you would like, but it is. So there's no bashing. It is what it is. Yeah. So KT, is saying. Kathleen, she just said she wants to hear all opinions. Yeah, exactly. I do. Kathleen again. Let's see. He had Jim on and told him to be respectful tonight. Wow. For what? Like the first time in how long? I'm being completely honest and real with you people. Okay? This is not bashing. It's facts. There are YouTube creators that think there is no consequences for what they do, that there's no consequences for who they have on, and they are wrong. Again, I talked to the FBI agent on this case today. I'm just giving the warning. They can continue on in whatever fashion they choose to. It might not end well, and I don't think it's going to. I have been warning of this for several weeks. There's a reason. I have been warning of this for several weeks. So if you think that that is bashing, I don't know what to tell you. Okay? Leanne. Leanne said he also said his son graduated with Dylan. And Dylan didn't graduate. I don't trust you. You want to know something funny? I'll tell you guys something funny. And this FBI agent absolutely knows my channel. And he said to me, he asked me if I talked to him. And I said yes 3 times. That's exactly what he said. Quote, how long did it take for him to tell you about his football career? And I laughed. And I said, I don't know, like maybe like 30 seconds or something. And he laughed. Okay. And I said, just so you know, I said, all of that gay stuff, all that nonsense that Jim Terry has spewed and spoiled this case with, I do not subscribe to. And his response to me was this: you already passed test number 1. That's a quote. If you think I'm lying, I don't really care because I'm not. And when things happen, don't say I didn't tell you so. So, yeah, it was actually pretty. It was comical in a really bad way. I'm not bashing. I'm not doing any of that. I am being real with you. This is what was said. I have been saying this again for weeks. They are not happy with him. They are not happy with these channels that are doing this. Not at all. So these people having him on, getting all these views, these super chats, and all these things, be careful with what you're doing. Remember that the person that you have on a ski mask and it's oh so funny has been fired from this case, has also been trying to be, there's 2 families, not just one, there's 2 that are trying to serve him with a cease and desist. And the reason that they cannot is because he doesn't have an address, has a phone number. That's why. And it's a big joke. It's a big joke to them. So funny. If you were a legitimate PI, you would have a business address. You would have a place where people could meet with you or call or contact. There is none of that. And I encourage every single one of you to look for it. You will not find it. He'll tell you, where am I at? I'm in Biloxi, Mississippi. No, you're not, Jim. No, you're not. Nope. No, you're not. So you have a con artist that injected himself into this case. You have an FBI that is not happy about it in any way, shape, or form, and I'm putting that mildly. I don't want to get myself in trouble with the FBI, so I'm not going to say everything they said, but they're not happy with you. Okay?
I'm in a Facebook group for another channel, and there was a lady in there who has a missing son, and she had hired Jim Terry to research the case, and she fired him as well. So this is an ongoing pattern, as from what I can see.
Grandma, who's this? Graham James? That's incorrect. That is not true. His grandfather hired Jim. Incorrect. You want to know who paid Jim Terry? Jessa Brown's sister, Katie. That's who paid him. She was advised against it. She did it anyway. And now they're all trying to serve him with a cease and desist because of the things that he has said about Dylan Rounds and their family. And that is the truth. And I will tell you very much that the FBI echoes every single bit of that. The words that were said to me today were, we have something more important at this moment, but we see him. And again, when I said to this agent, I'm a YouTuber, he let out this loud sigh. And I said, well, I have to be honest with you about who I am. And I said, but, I do not subscribe to the Jim Terry gay stuff and all this nonsense. And he goes, well, you passed test number 1. So, bashing, I guess. If bashing is facts, then I guess it is. But that is facts. Yeah, I don't know how much longer he's going to get away with this. I think this case is going to do him in. And I think the longer that he continues on with this charade, this is going to be the case that takes him down. Because there's so many families that he has preyed on. And without quoting this FBI agent, he did say that this is a man that preys on families at their most vulnerable. So there's that. It's not unnoticed. It's not flying under the radar. And again, for you channels that want to keep having him on, keep going. Keep going, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll see what they want to do with it. So, And just so you guys know, I haven't struck anybody's channel. I haven't done anything like that has had Jim Terry on. I didn't strike them. I didn't do anything. Because I felt like people would see through this eventually. And I also already knew at that time that the FBI was already looking at him. So I was just like, okay, I'll let them keep going. Avery, thank you so much for the super chat, $10. I haven't asked Candace, but do you know if EquiSearch has done a search yet? I do not know the answer to that.
I do, and yes, they have. They
have.
were out 2-3 weekends ago, and they didn't want anybody searching that weekend because they wanted no problems with run-ins from various groups. So it was just Ellie and EquiSearch that weekend.
Thank you, Lynette, for answering her question. I do want to bring Emily up here. Why do you think being gay is wrong? Who said that, Emily? Did I say that? Lynette, did you say that when I stepped out for the cigarette? No. Did somebody say that I missed? Or was that in the chat? Or where did that come from? Anyone? No? Oh, Emily, are you homophobic, Jess? No. No, that's the simple answer. So I'm not really sure where you're coming up with this or what you're doing. I'm not homophobic at all, and that's that. What I am phobic against is lies. I'm phobic against that. I'm phobic against making up things about people. I'm phobic against spouting off things that you have no proof to back up. I'm phobic against that. Trolling, you be rolling, right? I you know, it's okay. People like Emily get very caught up with men like Jim Terry. It's not surprising to me. I see a lot of Emily's. I see a lot of those people like that. And they're just, well, let me think about how to say this without sounding mean. They get very taken with a person that speaks very quickly, that throws all of these things at you, and they believe it. Emily, just from reading her comments that are passive aggressive in nature, Emily, you don't have a damn clue about what is going on in this case behind the scenes. And if you continue to follow James Terry down his rabbit hole, you're probably going to find yourself very surprised when people are formally arrested for Dylan. Okay? So sorry for you. But either way, she's still going on. I'm happy if my kid is gay. Yeah, I nobody cares. Nobody cares about that. That is not the issue. If my children were gay, so be it. Lynette, would you care if your child was gay?
No, I would love that child regardless, and I would be accepting of their choice in life partner. I see Rochelle says Dylan being gay has nothing to do with what's going on and nobody's business. It only has something to do with it in that you have to look at the person who's closest, and if there's a potential hate crime, if he's perceived as gay, if he's not gay, but that might be a motivation for somebody doing it, you have to look at it for that.
Yes, and that's exactly why when Jim Terry called me up and proposed this idea to me, my first question to him was, "Do you have proof?" He said no. He didn't have proof. Chase Venstra was his proof. But then he told me, "I'm gonna get your proof for you." Okay, well, bring it on, Jim. Bring your proof. He produces Pumpkin. Pumpkin says, I never told him that. He produces Dylan Berg. Dylan Berg also inboxes me, calls me, and says, I kept telling him over and over that I never saw Kurt in drag. I gave Kurt a bowl of spaghetti. He ate it and his lips were red. I didn't really see him in makeup. Okay? So this is where all this crap comes from. Nobody cares if their child is gay. If you are, you are. If you're not, you're not. The problem is in saying, let's just say, what is this person's name? Emily. Emily, let's just say this. You have a daughter, right? Let's just say you have a daughter. Your daughter goes missing. She's 19 years old. And, woe falls your family and your daughter goes missing. And you hire this guy that says, I can find your daughter right away, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, please, you'll do anything to find your child. But he comes back a couple days later and says, did you know that your daughter was a prostitute? Did you know that? Did you know your daughter was selling her body? And you know that your daughter was definitely not doing that. You don't know what happened to her, but you definitely know she wasn't a prostitute. Okay? And then that private, the word is in the name. It's private investigator. Okay? That private investigator goes online. It tells everyone, yeah, her daughter was a prostitute and she was doing this and that and this and that. And you know that this is not true. How would you feel? Would you want people saying, well, what's the problem with being a sex worker? I mean, if she was, she was. Like, who cares? Would you want that being said? It's a question.
Well, I think if Dylan were to show up and he ran off and got married to another man and he showed up with his husband, I think that the parents would be thrilled to death to have him back. I think
Absolutely.
that it would not matter in the least.
You would want your child back in any form as long as they're back, regardless of gay, of whatever. Oh, no, Emily? No to what? No to what exactly? Elaborate, Emily, on what no means to you. What exactly you were responding to. No what? You wouldn't like that? You wouldn't appreciate that? Then again, I'll ask you to put yourself into Dylan Rounds' family's shoes. Stop asking questions like that. Again, would you want people asking you, oh, what's the problem, Emily? If she's a sex worker, who cares? Why are you worried about that? What's the big deal? This is what this family's dealing with because of this person. Thank you for the super chat, Avery. $10. Prime example. My good friend Jason Jensen is a PI, and you will never hear him talk about his findings while working on a case. It defeats the purpose of private investigating. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for the very Simple explanation of that. Again, it's in the word private investigating, not private, including all of YouTube and anyone that will listen. Private in the family that hires you and law enforcement. That's the only two sources that your information should be going to. But what he's doing is he's making all this money for these channels. And I haven't watched, but I've heard that his PayPal is being posted. And let me tell you guys something. As hard as it is to turn off from that crap, because there's a little bit of excitement, right? There's a little bit of ooh and ah of all the salacious crap. Stop tuning into it. Every single view you give those channels makes them money. Every time. Lisa, there is always going to be the Jim Terrys of the world. Yes, there is. You got to be strong enough not to get sucked into that mess. Yes, you do. I really did know very quickly within the first phone call of talking to him that he was a con man. I knew it. He was talking so fast and spitting out so much information at me. Why would you do that? You don't even know me. You watched a live stream or two that I did about Dylan really early on before people were even covering this case. You watched that and you realized that I was talking to people behind the scenes, but then you want to call me up and start spitting out really quickly all this information. No, that's called a red flag. Oh, Lordy. I don't even want to read that comment. It blows my mind. This has to be explained to these people. Same. Common sense ain't that common anymore. Yes. Thanks for just the facts, Jess. You're so welcome. I think we'll end this here. Lynette, thank you so much for coming up. I always appreciate you on here. I don't want to make this all about Jim Terry and blah, blah, blah. I'm sure he'll be talking about my lipstick tomorrow, which, Jim, like, what do you know about makeup, really? Like, girl, you could totally teach me some things. Like, you know all about how to put on makeup and stuff like that. Like, girl, call me again and tell me how to put on that makeup.
Maybe he's the draft.
It may be, because I don't know, I don't think he's a makeup artist. So, it's quite interesting that you got a lot of things to say about somebody's makeup. But either way, you better watch yourself, Jim, because the FBI is. But either way, let's pray for Dylan. Let's pray for his family. Let's hope that Dylan is found. Let's hope that one of these people in this case breaks. And, well, I don't want to say break. I want to say just tells the truth. Because Dylan deserves that. So, I will see you guys later. Thank you guys for being here. Lynette, thank you again. And I will catch up and talk to all of you guys later. Good night for now, guys.
Okay, good night.